A critical tide has surged today, washing ashore new revelations in the harrowing case of Shaelynn Lehano-Stone, a young girl whose life was cut tragically short through starvation at the hands of those sworn to safeguard her. The echoes of her suffering ripple through the community, inviting both reflection and outrage as freshly unveiled details of a grotesque betrayal come to light, leaving us to grasp the weight of a reality that refuses to fade into silence. The shadows of neglect linger ominously as 67-year-old Henrietta Stone, the child's grandmother, has now been sentenced to 10 years of probation rather than prison time, a development that forces us to confront the stark complexities of justice in cases of familial failure. Did the scales of accountability tip too far on this day, leaving deep fissures in the fabric of our collective morality? To unravel the catastrophic events that paved the way for today's announcement, we venture back to June 28, 2016, when emergency responders were summoned to an apartment in Hilo, Hawaii. There, they found Shaelynn, a mere 9 years old, emaciated and unconscious, a faint whisper of the bright potential she once contained. In an agonizing twist of fate, the very people responsible for her care, Henrietta, her parents Kevin Lehano and Tiffany Stone, had conspired to deny her not just nourishment, but hope. The court proceedings unfolded like a tragic drama, where Henrietta's initial charge of second-degree murder morphed into a no-contest plea to manslaughter after a deal was struck with prosecutors. Individual moments amassed into an ecosystem of neglect, as a chilling examination of the circumstances surrounding Shaelynn's plight revealed a reality filled with alarming indicators of abuse, multiple removals from her home due to alleged neglect, alarming food access restrictions complete with alarming refrigerators that belied her right to life, and an education abruptly severed by a grandmother's misguided intentions. The new developments unveil layers of insight that demand careful contemplation. According to illuminating disclosures from a bright, intrepid child welfare analyst, the statistics paint a somber mosaic of systemic failure. Shaelynn's malnutrition was corroborated by the voice of a forensic pediatric pathologist, emphasizing that acute pneumonia and kidney infections were symptoms of neglect that could have been averted through basic care. These revelations surface the deeper question, amid an ecosystem rife with indicators of distress, where were the guardians of our children when this innocent sought assistance the most? The prosecution's frustrations echo across our own understanding of justice, as Keldon Waltgen, the prosecutor navigating these turbulent waters, encapsulated the community's sentiment with somber eloquence. He stated that neither the child nor the community deserved such an ordeal, lamenting the loss of a life that held boundless potential, reminding us that systemic vigilance is paramount to safeguarding generations to come. The air thickens with questions as reactions cascade through the community and beyond. How does one reconcile the spirit of justice with a plea that brings with it minimal repercussions? A local advocate for children's rights shares their thoughts, a masquerade of compassion indeed. This is not merely a decision, but a signal. It speaks volumes louder than any courtroom drama. The bittersweet reality reinvigorates the community's spirit, igniting a collective fire, a resolve unswayed by the tides of complacency. In contrast, the voice of a family therapist warns of the haunting silence enveloping the grieving community. We cannot let this sorrow dissipate into apathy, lest we try collective healing through remembrance and advocacy. A feeling of resilience settles amidst the sorrow as people rally around renewed efforts to build systems of accountability tailored to protect vulnerable children, rekindling whispers of hope in the wake of tragedy. Yet, what implications does this case breathe into the wider context of child welfare and protection? As this story unfolds, we find ourselves staring into a kaleidoscope of complexities. How many more innocents linger in shadow, unseen and unheard, constricted by a societal silence that complacently fosters neglect? The pillars of our community's foundations tremble as we ponder, has our system, tasked with shielding children, overlooked the very dynamics that allow such betrayals to fester unchecked? Furthermore, what might this episode reveal about the intricacies of family dynamics, allowing for betrayal in plain sight? Conversations need to ensue, echoing through our sectionalized existence, as we contemplate solutions to sculpt a brighter future for our children, a mandate that cries for urgent attention. As we navigate through the anguish of loss woven with burgeoning reform, we find ourselves perched on the precipice of change, with time acting as the silent witness. The future feels uncertain, yet one undeniable truth remains: accountability must breathe and grow beyond the judgment rendered today. With reform and inescapable urgency, we stand witness to the unfolding of a narrative that urgently demands our attention. As the ripples of this case reverberate within the community and across state lines, we are left with an unsettling question hanging in the undulating air. What futures are we ensuring, and at what cost? The echoes of Shaelynn's story permeate every corner and alleyway of our collective conscience, leaving us uneasily clutching the threads of awareness and responsibility. In the wake of these revelations, one unresolved query looms larger than life itself. As a society poised at the crossroads of advocacy and justice, how far are we willing to march before the silence gives way to action? The gears of time continue to turn, and the collective eyes of the community remain restless, fixated on the horizon, where the past meets an uncertain future.